Good evening and welcome to another live coding session with Claude and Open Source Cloud. My name is Jonas Bermé, I'm the CTO of Open Source Cloud and also founder of Ivy Technology, the company behind this platform. Or co-founder, I should actually say. And before I start, I just want to give you a little bit of tell you a little bit behind this stream, what I'm using. As you can imagine, there are a lot of open source in use here. So the actual the graphics that you saw, the countdown, and I realized I didn't mute myself, but that's another thing. I hope you didn't hear too much noise. So the countdown timer, that graphics, that is an open source project as well to just generate that, and I'm using OBS for this stream, and I'm also using a restreamer software that's running here at Open Source Cloud. So and that is this from Data High, how do you say it? So this is the program I'm using, which means I could restream to both LinkedIn and YouTube Live. So that's where you are watching this now, and the graphics is a tool, stream graphics generator. Basically, I can generate a slate, and then I copy this URL as a browser source in OBS, for example. That's simple. That's how simple that is. Right, so that was a little bit of background. So now let's get into it. I actually had an idea of what to develop this time. But if you have any ideas or suggestions, please feel free to add it in the comments section here below. And I'm open for feedback. So yeah, today or this evening we are going to develop a teleprompter application. And what is that? Well, if you're now watching this live, you can probably sense that I'm not using that. It's basically a way where I can read a script presented for me, and usually that's something that scrolls, and then I want to be able to configure how quickly it scrolls depending on how quickly I talk and those things. But it could also be related to how long segment I actually have, if I have like 5 minutes or so. So these are some parameters I think we want to configure. We want to configure the speed, how quickly it scrolls. Of course, we need to be able to upload a document to use as the script, and also have a sort of countdown timer for the segment. So these are the things that we want to be able to build, and I'm going to call this Is it teleprompter? TV prompter. I'm just going to call it prompter, and not prompting AI this time. And yeah, let's connect with OSC in case I need to use a service here. Let me copy this line. Great, and then I can run Claude. I trust it. I can connect with OSC like that. So now I'm all set. So now let's get down to business. Let's make the fun thing now. Let's prompt it. So what did I say? We want a teleprompter application, a web-based teleprompter application. Since I want to be able to run it just with a simple web browser, or from my iPad, or from my mobile. I shouldn't have to install an application. I shouldn't have to it shouldn't be a hassle. Basically, it should be super simple. Where I can upload manuscript, configure the speed, and display and configure the segment length and display a countdown timer. I see some comments here, thank you. I'm happy to have viewers. Alright, I'll help you create a web-based teleprompter application. Let me start by planning this project and understanding what we're working with. Analyzing existing code-based structure should be fairly easy because it's quite empty. So we'll create a complete teleprompter application from scratch. Do I want to create index HTML? Yes, please. So now it's just doing a very simple web application. I guess that's probably sufficient for now. We'll see how long that goes. I mean, of course, we can extend this how much by, for example, if we want to be able to separate the control from the actual teleprompter. So you have a sort of a control application where you can both upload the manuscript and change the configuration. But I think that's my experience from working with, at least with Claude, is that try to give him sort of not too much at once. Take it step by step. I mean, with all respect, that's how I would work. If someone tells me to do something, it's easy to break it down into smaller pieces and steps, and probably the same here. At least that's how it feels. I don't really know the math behind all of these things that you see, but I guess very few people do. I would like to, and maybe I can have time to actually learn that now when the development is very assisted. We can call it that. Okay, open. Alright, so here we got a welcome to the teleprompter, upload your manuscript using the file upload button above, paste the text directly here. Okay, welcome to the teleprompter. I could change the font size. Okay, I could change the words per minute. Welcome to the teleprompter. Upload your manuscript using the file upload button above, or paste your text directly here. Configure your reading speed and segment length, then click start to begin prompting. The text will scroll automatically to configure speed and use the account. Okay, so now it would be interesting to upload a manuscript. Do I have a good file here? Somewhere of some... That's a Word document. Maybe that works. We see some reel I had somewhere here, there. Let's see if that works. Okay, so it doesn't support that. Okay, so that we want to add support for uploading Word documents. I think that's probably common format that we will have. I would suspect it has to now rebuild the application into perhaps something more than just a web application, perhaps. No, I'm not sure. And I haven't instructed it to sort of keep it very small and clean and not just adding a lot of dependencies and creating a very huge project just because. Maybe we come to that part where we need that, but now, so it actually is trying to not exploding the size of the project, which I appreciate actually. Okay, open index.html. Okay, so would that now work? It did. All right, so let's see. Let's start this. With open source cloud, we want to reduce the barriers and make open source more accessible for everyone, not only developers and engineers, and provide a platform for open source creators to reach this group. With a few clicks of a button or asking your AI agent, you can get started with it. Okay. So now, and the next thing I would actually want to do, besides I also want to be able to configure the length here of the segment, and perhaps also show a clock. I want to be able to configure the length of the segment, and I also want to see the expected length or duration given the words per minute set. So I mean, I want to see, okay, this is the segment I have, the time, and this is the expected duration for all this text giving read speed, so I could actually adjust. Show a diff and adjust it live when changing the speed. So the target should probably be, if I have a 10-minute segment and I have a lot of text, and the diff should be 0, so I can adjust the speed there. Updating segment length controls to show live duration. Adding expected duration calculation based on text length and speed. And as I said yesterday, I mean, the goal here is I'm going to build this application. I will open source it, publish it on my public repository, and then submit it into open source cloud to make it available as a service. So not everyone has to do the same thing I've done here, saving some time if you just need a teleprompter. And or extend too. I mean, that's one of the great things with open source, that you can continue adding on to this project. But this will probably give a good start. All right. Okay, so here, let me upload that file again. And see, okay, so the word count is 144, the expected duration is 0.57. So actually I have plus time here. So if I add 2 minutes there, the difference will be 1 minute. I could actually then read this slower, I think. Maybe that's too slow. Let's see. Where is it? Okay. With open source cloud, we want to reduce the barriers and make open source more accessible for everyone, not only developers and engineers, and provide a platform for open source creators to reach this group. I'm not sure about the positioning on this, but yeah, now I have the camera up there and the text is there, and usually you have actually the camera behind, but that's a little bit difficult to achieve now. Great. Okay, let us save this now, so we can go back if we want to, because I'm going to extend this now. So let's initiate a Git repository. initiate it. And write a git ignore file. That's good. Thank you for that. Initial commit. Great, it has a readme. And we can do that later. Okay, so now I have something committed. Now let's extend this. As I said, I want to actually separate the controller here from the actual prompt review here. So, I mean, if I, as a reporter, would open up this prompter on the iPad or my phone, I could have someone else sitting by the computer and actually controlling it. Good. Next step is to separate the controller part from the teleprompter part. Basically, I want to be able to open only the teleprompter without any controls, and then another page to configure and control that same teleprompter using WebSocket to send commands. We can suggest that. Alright, I'll create a separated architecture with a controller page and a standalone teleprompter display connected via WebSockets. Creating standalone teleprompter display page. Still, we are just using an HTML page. I guess that won't work with the WebSocket, so it probably has to have some server created. That's not a big problem though, so I guess it's fairly simple. Creating controller page with all controls. Implementing WebSocket server for communication. I think, I mean, one thing is, of course, when you're using Claude like this from a blank project. But I think the most exciting thing is actually when you're using in an existing project, and actually how good it works, doing sometimes quite big changes, but also small. Of course, just changing one line or doing something very specific, that's probably faster. But when it comes to, like, for example, I mean, one example, I did localize one application yesterday with the help of Claude. It was an application fully hard-coded English. I just told it I want this in French as well, and then it actually made it localized with strings and placeholders, and also check the user agent preference, which language to choose and things like that. So it did it the right way in that sense, and then it was easy to extend with more languages. And yeah, it did the translation as well. I haven't checked whether it was perfect, but the Swedish variant was actually good. So with that, I'm quite confident the French one was also good, and German. But not gonna do that now, and let's gonna focus on this part. But I mean, with that said, if I would like to have a Swedish version of this application for, yeah, well, that could be for a Swedish broadcaster, for example, that would be quite easy. Adding WebSocket client code to both pages. Testing controller display synchronization. Yeah, now it has to actually install some npm packages. Okay, here it is. Welcome to the teleprompter controller. Upload your manuscript or edit this text directly. And then we have the display. That's here and it's connected. Welcome to the teleprompter controller. Upload your manuscript or edit this text directly. The changes will be synchronized with the display in real time. Okay, let's do the same procedure. I'll open that one. Great. You get only 2 minutes. You get only 1 minute to talk about this. It's short form now. Can put font size here, and let's put that here, and we can have the control. And let's do that. Let's have the controller here, and we can have the teleprompter there. Okay, so let's see. Let's start it. Pause, reset. Feels like I'm missing something in the beginning, or where is my mouse there? Connected one display. Okay, mirror mode. Hide timer. Start it then. It was really fast. Maybe I should give it 130. 1.5. 1,5. But this is something, maybe the font size. It doesn't fit. On the other hand, maybe the text here isn't that. Commit this change, commit to Git before we continue. But could we perhaps have the text sort of adjusted for in because now I just uploaded a document. Maybe it should also update the manuscript. Add an option to update the printed manuscript to fit. I don't know, maybe there are standards how wide it should be to match current teleprompting standards, if there are such things. We'll find out. Okay, I thought I was live. On LinkedIn, but that didn't seem to work. Sorry about this, just a little bit sidetracked. Let's change this. Is something wrong with RTMP? Let's back to manage streams. Prepare to pick a region, Europe North. Get URL. So those of you on YouTube, you can watch me do this. The screen is there. Save. Campus address. Must be something wrong with the event here, I think. Remove that one. I'll go live now. Pick a region, Europe North. Copy that. Now things are happening. Okay, I forgot to press the go live button here for LinkedIn. Okay. Welcome LinkedIn viewers then. Or soon. All right, back to what I was actually doing. Okay, I forgot to press the go live. All right, so now everything's done. Where was I? Yes, I was here. Format for teleprompter. Okay, let's open that now. But I'm missing a few of the lines. Is that intentionally or? The format and upload. Okay, now you can have a lot of options there. But it misses a few lines in the start, right? So those of you who just joined LinkedIn stream, because I forgot to press the go live button on that. For those of you who just joined on LinkedIn, what we're doing this evening is we are building a teleprompter application, a web-based teleprompter application that we will go into open source once we're done, and submit it to open source cloud as well as to become available as a service. So you can just get started if you don't want to develop or build or prompt or things like that. So okay, so we have what we have now. We have a control application here, and we can upload a manuscript in Word, and we can add some settings. We can format the manuscript, we can set the length, we can calculate the difference based on the read speed, and we can start it. With open source cloud, we want to reduce the barriers and make open source more accessible for everyone, not only developers and engineers, and provide a platform for open source creators to reach this group. With a few clicks of a button or asking your AI, you can get. Now that was a little bit fast, right? But you get the point, you get the idea. And one thing here is that I want to be able to add minutes and seconds for the segment length. So let's modify that. And too many windows. Updating duration calculations to handle minutes and seconds. Yeah, that's true. It has to handle that. And here's the thing. I just copy this URL. I can share it with an iPad. So the teleprompter and the reporter is reading the teleprompter, seeing this page, and the control room is working with this one. Okay. Now we can have minutes and seconds. Okay, it did it like that, but that's probably not. That's probably fine. Mirror mode. I would guess, not being an expert on this, but that is if you. That's how it works actually. If if you would place the iPad or something displaying it, then you have a mirror over here, and you can have it actually in front of the camera. I think it's perhaps a little bit around how that works. So that's why you have the mirror mode. You can hide the time there, but now the time is at not a number. Is that why is that? Maybe I have to reload this. Yeah, okay, of course. Great. Commit to Git. And it has a display there connected. Good. What else do we want to do? Maybe we want to signalize when the person is on air as well. Or we could also want to say that we create, we add a time when it's supposed to start, and then we could have a countdown to that, and then it automatically starts. That would be probably handy. But if I'm going to add that you're on air thing, I think it's called tally, then we might. I wonder if that should be a separate button, or if it's connected to whether it's actually starting. Or maybe both. Maybe we can set it, but if it's not set and we press start, then it should actually show, I guess. The one thing that I feel is that there will be no lack of software in the future when it's this easy to build something that you need. Git commit completed successfully. Okay, so let us add a tally. Is that what you call it? On air indicator, teleprompter display. The controller can turn it on or off, but it is automatically turned on when start is pressed. Updating display.js to handle on-air state changes. Good. Re-updating controller to send on-air commands. So for those who just joined, we are developing or building, I should call it, and together with Claude, a teleprompter application, a web-based teleprompter. When we have a teleprompter display, which is on one page, and then we have the controller, which is another page, and they are communicating over a web socket. So the idea is that the reporter opens up the teleprompter display page and on their iPad or device they have, and then the control room opens the other one and updates the manuscript and starts it and configures the actual segment and those things. Can I have 2 displays? I could. That's good. Great, so let's try it out. Reload that perhaps, on our indicator. Load that file, and expected duration 2 minutes on our indicator. It didn't set on, maybe it's more that I started shows, or I'm not sure that worked, or am I misunderstanding something? Visual indicator with pulsing red light animation. But I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't see the on-air indicator. Where is it? Let me check if the server is running correctly. I see the issue. The server is showing. I had an old version of the server running. Of course, that will not work. Germinating. What is that for? Okay, let me see now if I reload it. Now I have it on there. But it's over. It's over the timer. Now it shows. However, the on-air indicator is in the way for the timer. Teleprompter display. Okay, we're fixing that. Perfect, I moved it. Where is it now? Okay, I have to reload that, of course. Is that better? With open source cloud, we want to reduce the barrier. So this is how it will look on a mobile. I guess that, this actually makes a difference. I wonder if we should... not now. That could be an extension. Good. That's fine. Let's commit this. Commit to Git. What else do we have to do? Any ideas from the audience? Yeah, that was what I said. To be able to set a start time or a scheduled start time and a countdown to that. Great. Add possibility to set a scheduled start time and then display a countdown timer in the teleprompter display. Can be hidden, only shown if a scheduled time is set. When start time is the prompter should start automatically when scheduled time occurs. Or how do you say it? It's quite a change list. Alright, so when we're done with this, we're gonna make it possible to run it as a container, which is a prerequisite for it to be available as a service. We could submit it as it is, and then there would be someone else's problem, meaning me, so we can at least do it now. Updating display.js. And update the server. And now I probably have to restart the server, or it finds that out itself. Yeah, it did, of course. I didn't have to do that as well. Wrong window. That's my window. Down arrow. Okay. and there I can have a scheduled start time. So if I would make it 22, 23, 23, no, 22, 23. Good. Shouldn't I see 00 perhaps? Scheduled time must be in the future. I did. And it feels this was a little bit strange. What? Yeah. I understand that. But 22:30 is in the future. Okay. That was a very, I think, most tricky calendar picker I will work with, but okay. Let's see if we can make this 26 scheduled start in 00. But I'm not on there now, right now. Okay, let's see if that works. Scheduled start in it's chosen the colors right, I think. Would work probably in the studio. Someone will tell me if I'm wrong, but let's change this to 25 then. So we can test it. Jump forward ahead of time. 9, 8, 7. It should automatically start now. That was the idea. Did amazing. I saw one bug when it automatically started it. Okay. Commit to Git. Now let's make containerize this. Make this possible to run in a run as a container and configure which port to listen to using the environment variable port. Also make sure there are no hard-coded host names when generating the display URL. So I don't get a localhost thing or something. Generating Docker file for containerization, updating server.js use port environment variable. Does the WebSocket have to be on a separate port? Or should we just use HTTP? I mean, it's handy if we could only use if we only need one port, I think. But I guess it's difficult to combine. Or let's ask. Build the teleprompter. Create the Docker image build successfully. verifying. And can the right, for those of you who just joined, we are building a teleprompt application today. Okay, so dynamic max, can the HTTP server and WebSocket run on the same port? Just start, let's ask the question. I guess this is something I should know, but I'm a little bit unsure. Because then we don't have to handle multiple ports in the infrastructure. Or if you want to run it in your infrastructure, you don't have to do that as well. So yes, we built a teleprompt application. This is the controller. You can upload the manuscript here. You can set speed, you can set segment length, font size, etc. And it's displayed here. So if I press start, pause, depending on read speed, and you get difference calculation, you get, all these things. That's what we have done in about an hour. Or watch someone else do it, I would say. I haven't done that much more than instructing. Updating client. I'm also very pleased that it tests itself as well. Let's proceed. I'm testing the container I built as well. And that's good. Great. Update the project name to be called Open Teleprompter and commit to Git. It wasn't that important to change on the okay. Yes. Good. Release this as open source under the Apache 2.0 license. Copyright Ivin Technology AB. And add some Ivin boilerplate information check github.com Ivin for how other repos looks like. See if we can figure that out. Yes, that's fine. You can fetch that. That's strange. Why is that for a form? And now it's like a didn't really work that way. This research. What kind of search is that? Web search. This was complicated. Okay, it has enough information now. I wonder what it has found out now. Adding Apache 2.0 license. Well, okay, so we are finalizing this project now, this teleprompter project, making it, preparing it for releasing with open source, meaning adding license information and some contribution guidelines, and yeah, I guess standard procedures, but it has to be done. But I'm quite happy I don't have to write out myself this time. I've done that in my life. ready for release. Okay, good. Commit to Git. Now we can start creating the project. Creating repository. Did it have a name here? Make it public. Push it. There it is. Maybe we should have some screenshots. Kill that. Start app. I think it actually got the boilerplate quite right. Yes, start it. Which port was it? 8000? No, 880. Okay. Screenshot on that. Good. Now I have some screenshots. Copy them. Controller. Display. Add the screenshots to the README. It's always more compelling with some screenshots, I think. Good. Is there anything else we need to do? Not now, I think. Right, this is the project information. Good. See how it looks. Okay, I need to push it. course. Very good. Perfect. And right, so now we are ready to submit this to Open Source Cloud. Let's do that. And there was no environment variables we need to set. Nope. Okay, submitted. And then we just have to wait for the review by OSC, but this time I can do that. Okay. Let's do that then. It's processing. There it is. So that is working in the background, and I will finalize this before I leave. But to give a quick summary, what we have done, I can demo it as well. So we have developed, with the help of Claude, a teleprompter where we have a controller here. We can upload a file, a Word document. It automatically formats for teleprompter. We can set the speed we should read it. We can set the length of the segment, 2 minutes, for example. Change the font size. We can have another indicator. We can start it. And the actual teleprompter display is this one. So you have it there. And then if I would start, it will read up here. So with Open Source Cloud, we want to reduce the barriers and make open source more accessible for everyone, not only developers and engineers, and provide a platform for open source creators to reach this group. With a few clicks of a button or asking your AI agent, you can get started with any open source project we have added to our platform. A broad catalog with open source projects that is continuously growing, and new projects are made available as a service every week. If you're an owner of any of the projects we have added, you can claim the service and we will share part of the revenue with you. This was a little bit fast, so I could actually slow it down. And if I read that again, with Open Source Cloud, we want to reduce the barriers and make open source more accessible for everyone, not only developers and engineers, and provide a platform for open source creators to reach this group. With a few clicks of a button or asking your AI agent, you can get started with any open source project we have added to our platform. A broad catalog with open source projects that is continuously growing, and new projects are made available as services every week. If you're an owner of any of the projects we have added, you can claim the service and we share a part of the revenue with you. With this revenue share model, we hope to contribute to a sustainable economy for open source. sign up for free, and as a sign up bonus you receive 300 usage tokens that you can use without any other limitations. Right. So once I made this as a service, I think I'm going to actually try it out and see if I can actually place the teleprompter next to the camera. I realize now I demoed something that you didn't see. All right, we'll do a demo later. There will be room for that. So let's see, how far did it go? It's in order processing. Okay. Okay. That's fine. It's done. Good. Let's try it out then. Let me see that I'm sharing my screen now. Yeah. Teleprompter. Open teleprompter. Transform your presentations with open teleprompter. Okay. And create one. Demo. Name is already taken. That's strange. Let's try again. Why is it not working? Let me try again. Okay, it wasn't just ready. Now it's there. See if that works. Great. Okay, now I can demo. All right, so available now in Open Source Cloud. And those of you who have followed me along for over 1.5 hours. We have developed a teleprompter application that we have made published as open source and made available as a service in Open Source Cloud. So now I created an instance here. I can click on it. And here I have the teleprompter controller, and I can open the display here, and it's connected. Good. And just to give you an idea, here it is. I can upload a file. It automatically formats it. I can give it some time, and then if I press start, it will be rolling. Good. It's a little bit fast, I think. But now, the fun part here, I think, is that I'm going to open this. I wonder if I have this thing. Or did I leave that somewhere? I have a bag here where I don't seem to find what I want. I have so many things here, but it should be here. So I'm looking for a kind of a magnet, something I could place the actual. Oh, so stupid. I know it is here somewhere. Oh, there it is. So I have one of these things. So I'm going to place that now behind my phone. With a magnet. Can I place it like this? Yeah. So I can place my phone here. And I want to open this teleprompter display here in my browser. So here it is. You see it? So I just place it there next to my camera, and then I'm going to try to read this. And that was really fast. Okay, we need to we need to adjust it for the vertical part. It really needs to slow down, but that could be a future enhancement, I think. Okay, so now let's try to run this. With open source Claude, we want to reduce the barriers and make open source more accessible for everyone, not only developers and engineers, and provide a platform for open source creators to reach this group. With a few clicks of a button or asking your AI agent, you can get started with any open source project we have added to our platform. A broad catalog with open source projects that is continuously growing, and new projects are made available as services every week. If you are an owner of any of the projects we have added, you can claim the service and we share a part of the revenue with you. And with this revenue share model, we hope to contribute to a sustainable economy for open source. Sign up for free, and as a sign-up bonus, you receive 300 usage tokens that you can use without any other limitations. Yeah, that worked, right? So I have now a teleprompter, web-based teleprompter application that I can run on my mobile or iPad, just with a web browser, or it could be a desktop application as well, of course. So that we have developed tonight together with a lot of help from Claude, and we published that as open source, and we have made it available as a service here in open source cloud. And by that, I think we're done. Thank you all for joining me. It was great fun, and maybe we'll have another session soon. Just need to think of a use case or something that we need to solve or build together. And if you want to participate next time, do so. But if you want to know when next time is, I would say subscribe to our channel and add that notification button and all that, you know. We're streaming this both on YouTube and LinkedIn. At least when I find out that I managed to press that publish button. All right, that's it for now. Thank you for joining me and have a good evening.